Hello and welcome to Winchester News Online. I'm Fred Morris. Coming up, it's now peak time for bike thefts, so we've got some tips on bike safety. Hampshire's preparing for yet another storm to hit. And local actor aims to become a super trooper on the West End.
You know, Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream, and genuinely it was like a dream to be out there.
Parking charges have been a big topic in Winchester since they were raised in July, with many local businesses and organisations unhappy with the change in Sunday and overnight parking. One local choir have said the tariff change has affected their members and has added 60% onto the cost of their choir. On the 9th of October, a new volunteer permit and 1 hour overnight tariff was introduced. Sinead Cochrane reports.
Businesses, churchgoers and local people have been discouraged from using the local car parks since the rise of prices in July. Free overnight parking was scrapped for a £3.30 charge, and the Sunday all-day parking of £2.10 was changed to £17, a £14.90 increase. This change was brought in to reduce emissions in the city centre and to encourage the use of park and walk, which remain free overnight and a £2.10 Sunday charge. The Winchester Community Choir have been rehearsing here since 2021, but lately they are worried about how the rise in parking fares will affect them and their audiences.
Almost ran out of money 18 months ago, and many of our members left. It doesn't help us to recruit people if we have to say, oh, by the way, it costs 60% more this year than it did last to come to choir.
When speaking to members of the choir, they said they now drive further to use these free car parks, showing that the rise in prices might not improve air quality, but instead change people's behaviours. To help groups like the choir and local businesses, the City Council agreed to new volunteer permits, which grant free parking. They have also introduced a new overnight charge of £1.80. 90% of businesses and groups that were surveyed were in favour of this charge. Winchester Bid was one of the groups and said this.
Winchester Bid is supportive of a new volunteer parking permit being introduced, and we hope this will provide reassurance for charities. Nevertheless, it should also be noticed that there are businesses which have expressed broader concerns about the potential impact of overnight charges on the nighttime economy.
The Winchester Community Choir agree that the new permits will be a huge help to them, but they still think that the reduced night tariff is still unfair. Sinead Cochrane, Winchester News Online.
Winchester's Pret-a-Manger is finally back open after being closed for 2 days. The high street coffee shop shut without any notice to their keen customers on Sunday. Reese Huggett went to investigate.
Coffee drinkers in Winchester were hit with an unexpected closure on Sunday. The Pret-a-Manger had closed mysteriously and the door to the store was locked. There was a sign in the window which read,
"The Pret shop is currently closed. We apologise for any inconvenience caused and appreciate your patience."
The much frequented coffee shop was closed for 2 days over the 29th and 30th of October. At the time it was unclear to what the reason for the closure was, but Pret have since given us a statement saying,
"We have temporarily closed our Winchester shop due to flooding from heavy rainfall. We are working to reopen the shop as quickly as possible so we can welcome back our customers."
The popular cafe has since reopened, and sources have told us it was closed due to flooding. Winchester High Street goers can now fulfil all their coffee needs. I'm Reese Huggett for Winchester News Online.
With the next general election around a year away, many seats could change parties. Eastleigh is one of those seats. It has a Conservative majority of over 15,000 votes, but in today's political climate, there are no safe seats. Our political reporter Harry Jewell is here to tell us more.
Current predictions suggest the next general election will be held in a year's time. Recent opinion polls paint a gloomy picture for the governing Conservatives, who are on average 20 points behind the Labour Party. If the Tories continue to poll at these levels, they could be at risk of losing Eastleigh. A seat with a 15,000 majority is not considered a safe seat in this political climate. The Lib Dems are eyeing this seat as a key target, and they believe this seat is rightfully theirs, having held it for 19 years from 1994 until a national scandal involving a coalition minister brought an end to the Lib Dems holding Eastleigh. Liz Jarvis is the Lib Dem candidate hoping to win back Eastleigh.
People across Eastleigh have been telling me how worried they are about the NHS and social crisis, about not being able to get a GP or dentist appointment when they need one, the rocketing cost of living and the sewage being dumped in our rivers. They've had enough of this chaotic Conservative government. They feel let down and taken for granted, and they are desperate for change.
Samuel Joyson is the Conservative candidate, and he is hoping Rishi Sunak's policies of stopping the boats, tackling waiting lists and halving inflation will appeal to voters in Eastleigh. The fate of the Tory party will be decided in places like this: win and it's another 5 years of Rishi Sunak, lose and it's Prime Minister Starmer.
So, with elections next year, one big issue that's sure to be debated is transportation. Over in the east of the county, ongoing roadworks have been causing headaches for businesses and residents in Farnborough. I battled the traffic to go check out what's going on. Expansions on the Lynchard Road began in October 2022, meaning the road has been closed westbound for over a year now. Signs here originally read completion winter 2023, but now, according to Hampshire County Council, these works could be ongoing until at least February next year. This week, overnight closures of the Lynchard Road for roadworks have caused some local residents to have to take massive detours just in order to get home. Overnight, the stretch of the Lynchard Road shown here in red is closed in both directions. Ordinarily, residents of these two streets could just follow the Lynchard Road to get home from here. However, because this section of Park Road is one way, in order to get home now, residents have to go all the way up here to Mitchett, making what is ordinarily a 2-minute drive into a 13-minute journey. Road paving operations conducted throughout the nights have caused the ground to be vibrating as late as 1:30 AM right outside residential buildings. Businesses along Lynchard Road have also been affected by a reduction in footfall due to slow-moving traffic and difficulty of access. For a while, parking outside the Chinese restaurant Yummy Yummy was taken away entirely by closures, and parking now is still limited.
Takeaway business is a little bit less. We lost business, I think like 20%, but eating customers so far are okay. We still have regular customers coming back. They don't mind parking in Peabody Road car park. The problem is with disabled people and older people. They find it a bit hard to walk down to the restaurant. Takeaway customers want quick and fast. They want to quickly come down, collect and go. Sometimes we say collection at 8 o'clock and they don't have any parking. They drive round looking for parking, but the food is getting cold.
In their scheme overview, Hampshire County Council said the works will accommodate increasing travel demands in Farnborough and provide better facilities for people walking and cycling in the area. A new wide bike lane as well as a zebra crossing at the end of Alexandra Road have already been finished as part of their plans. Regardless, initial estimates for the project last year sat at £10.88 million, but now Hampshire are estimating the cost to be £13 million, and delays could still be around the corner at any moment. So when February rolls around, will the Lynchard Road still be causing problems in Farnborough, or will we finally see a return to normal? The UK's third storm of the season is expected to hit Hampshire this week. Storm Kieran will smack the UK with heavy winds and rainfall. Oshan Davis has all the information.
This wet autumn is set to get even wetter, with our third storm of the season, Storm Kieran, set to slam many parts of the UK this week, just 10 days after the UK was hit by Storm Babette. The Met Office has issued amber warnings to many parts of the UK, including here in Hampshire. Northern Ireland has been the first to tackle the heavy winds and rainfall from Storm Kieran today, with over an entire month's worth of rain expected to drop in Northern Ireland over the next 2 days alone. Residents in Hampshire, however, have been told to prepare for potential disruptions such as travel difficulties and power cuts. 80-mile-per-hour winds are expected across the south coast, with Portsmouth expecting a big hit from the storm. Previous storms in Winchester have seen the River Itchen overflow its banks, so it's important for residents or business owners local to the river to be prepared. Kieran is set to begin Wednesday, the 1st of November, and will continue until Thursday the following day, so make sure to be wary and to stay safe.
Each autumn, Winchester experiences more bike theft than any other time of the year. Molly Keane went to find out the best ways to keep your bikes safe.
Here in Winchester, many members of the community have been affected by bike theft. Winchester train station has been particularly targeted, with 113 bike thefts in the past 2 years. Locals are requesting more police patrol in order to monitor the situation.
Even though it's got CCTV, it just means you have a really nice video of your bike being nicked. There's no lock to it and no one actually standing outside it, so I wouldn't leave any of my bikes here.
With reports stating that the rate of bike theft is increasing again this autumn, I spoke to a local bike shop to explore the different security measures available to the public.
First thing we're going to start with is the different type of locks that you can use. We have one called a D-lock. This now comes also with a cable. Make sure it goes around the back of the railing and through the back spokes of the wheel. Then you need to make sure that the D-lock, or the D part of the lock, which is this, goes first of all around the railing and through the part of the frame here. There is other measures you can take. So this is called a bicycle alarm, and also it has a tracker mechanism in it. So this will fit to the bottle cage bolts of the bike.
The use of these stronger locks and alarms should allow people to leave their bikes unattended without worrying that they'll be stolen.
Now it's time to head over to our showbiz correspondent, Amelia.
Welcome to the dance studio at the University of Winchester for your Showbiz Bulletin. Many students here will be hoping that their big break is on its way, but for one Hampshire local it may be coming from ITV's new reality TV show. Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream is searching for the next Sophie in Sky, and Darcy James is hoping that he will be the winner who takes it all. Sinead Cochrane reports.
Darcy has always loved musical theatre and grew up doing local panto with the Starburst Theatre Group. He graduated from drama school in 2021 and felt that this experience was the end of drama school that he needed.
We keep pinching ourselves because to find, we're all kind of fresh graduates and very young, it kind of in this industry that, we look up to these people that are doing amazing things.
So how was it becoming this iconic character that everybody loves?
On paper, you look at him and he's fun-loving and all this, but there's so much. There's so much to him that I think sometimes the audience may not see or maybe look through, and I think we do explore that through the show, through one of the boys, and as a performer you learn from your peers, and you can't help but kind of immerse yourself into what the other boys are doing because they're such talented guys.
Was it scary performing in front of an audience, but knowing at some point the whole nation would be watching you?
It's that you've got that pressure immediately. Thankfully, for the first numbers, we're doing it with a pair or in a trio, and I was so fortunate enough that I had Callum with me. I wouldn't call myself a triple threat. Barely a threat. I'd say I'm not a mover, not a dancer. But I gave it my best shot, and I think that's the big thing.
What about performing in front of the judges? There's such big names.
I grew up with watching Alan Carr, late night TV when you're not supposed to, and just kind of performing in front of him. I mean, that was insane. And like Amber Riley, for example, like Glee, come on, every kid was watching Glee back then, and they all brought something different to the table.
And overall, how was the experience, especially being in Corfu, being at the heart of where Mamma Mia is? Did that help?
It was called, Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream, and genuinely it was like a dream to be out there. And in the middle of like Corfu, we were like, this is just insane to be immersed in this experience. So yeah, I mean, it's just, I just get giddy talking about it, to be fair.
From the screen to the stage, this half-term musical magic touchdown is Southampton, with a brand new public show for all the family to enjoy. Our theatre correspondent Owen Noon hand-jives his way to the stage for the sound of musicals. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The West End has come to West Quay. From the 23rd to the 29th of October, West Quay Shopping Centre in Southampton will be presenting a free-to-attend new outdoor show called The Sound of Musicals.
So this is building on last year's event. So last year we had the idea of putting on a digital fireworks display, and so that then led us into putting on the greatest digital fireworks display, which was all around The Greatest Showman, and it was such a success that we said, right, we're going to try and build on it this year. We still want to stick with the themes of musicals because they're really popular. You know, they appeal across the ages, so there's something for children, something for older people. So we were really keen to grow that this year and bring in other musicals, new musicals.
The Sound of Musicals brings together 5 family favourite musicals: Mary Poppins, Matilda, Frozen, Grease and Mamma Mia. Each musical segment features actors stepping in time to a medley of songs and dances, giving children and theatre newbies a little insight into an industry that has been struggling since the COVID-19 pandemic. The show also uses the city's heritage and setting to its advantage by using the city walls as a backdrop for the musical's lighting and projection effects.
I just watched the first of 2 shows here tonight, and I think it's safe to say that people loved it. And the space behind me is soon going to fill up for the next one.
What did you guys think of the show?
Amazing.
Amazing, yeah? Favourite bits?
Matilda, I thought it was really cool. Yeah, and I've done lots of flips.
What did you like?
Matilda.
I thought the singing was amazing. Yeah, really, really good. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it as well. I was there last night and I was down there and I thought the sound was better and you could tell the quality of the voices more when you were on the ground rather than up here. But I love Grease, the mega mix anyway, and I love the ABBA at the end.
Yeah, the ABBA was fab, yeah, really good.
With the success of this year's show, it's more than likely that a new show will be back next year with aims to get more people hopelessly devoted to the arts. Owen Noon, Winchester News Online.
Preparations for West Quay in ice are in full swing with the construction of the rink starting tomorrow. Skaters will be able to take to the ice on the 10th of November until the 7th of January. Records, although being an embodiment of our parents' generation, are back and better than ever, with the industry now being worth $1.2 billion, according to Record Industry Association of America. But why? Jodie Kelly investigates.
Vinyls, the physical embodiment of our favourite albums. Despite being replaced by the more convenient cassette in the early 1990s, records are back and more popular than ever, despite being an intruder in a seemingly digital world. So why in 2023, when music can be accessed hands-free, is the vinyl facing resurgence?
Now, I think I've always collected physical music. Ever since I was younger, I can remember going into shops like HMV and buying CDs because I just love collecting music and having it physically in my house to listen to. And then naturally it just kind of progressed over to vinyl records.
In 2022, Billboard reported that LPs had grown in sales again, its 17th year on record, something which the Times has credited as possibly being due to trend culture and nostalgia. It is undeniable, records are timeless. They are just as relevant in 2023 as they were half a century ago, when the Beatles were gliding across Abbey Road and Bowie was telling us what life was like on Mars.
This Saturday, North Wales Recreational Ground will be home to one of the loudest events of the year. Yes, that's right, Winchester's Bonfire is back with a bang. The event starts at 3 p.m. with a food festival before the annual torchlit procession begins from the Guildhall at 6 p.m. It's completely free to join and all you have to do is bring your own wax torch. The bonfire will be lit around 7:15 and will be followed by a sparkling fireworks display. Back to you in the studio.
Now we move on to a unique competition taking place in a nearby parish. And even though we maybe went out of summer, this contest has been giving up locals hay fever. Morgan Mitchener-Banks has more.
There has been a lot of movement in the remote community of Oliver's Battery as scarecrows have been making the move from fields to front gardens. The Oliver's Battery Scarecrow Competition is an annual event run and funded by their parish council and has been running for the past 4 years.
It's an opportunity for
individuals, families and groups to have a bit of fun, to design something, create it and display it. And it's also an opportunity for people in Oliver's Battery and in fact beyond to come round Oliver's Battery and see the displays and probably form their own opinions of which one's the best.
Despite taking place during the Halloween season, there are only a select few spooky scarecrows on display, as a lot of entrants are aiming to spread certain messages through their creations.
Yes, basically it's supposed to be David and Goliath. It reflects what's happening out in Ukraine, that Ukraine are a little bit like David and Putin is a little bit like Goliath. And hopefully the battle will go that way.
The name is Wetsuit Wonder, and the resolution for the WI this year is campaigning for clean rivers for people and wildlife. So hence we've got the clean river, we've got a dirty river to prove that actually we now need to clean it up.
My scarecrow is called Vivi, which is after my business. So my beauty salon business is called Vivi Beauty. So we have created our very own Vivi with her own lashes, not done in the salon of course.
We've still got a couple days until the winners of the competition are decided, so it won't be long until we find out which scarecrows are at the top of their field. Morgan Mitchener-Banks, Winchester News Online.
As it's All Hallows Eve, I'm sure that lots of people will have put their carved pumpkins outside their front doors. But how many of those pumpkins do you think are record-breaking? Well, Owen Noon went down to Sunnyfield Farm to see what spooky accomplishment they had smashed.
Halloween is back, which also means pumpkin time is back. Sunnyfields Farm in Southampton have opened their doors again for its yearly Halloween event, Pumpkin Time. Usually, the farm is breaking records for the largest or heaviest pumpkin, but this year, they've broken the world record for the largest cucurbita or pumpkin mosaic.
Well, we were talking to them for the last few weeks and we thought we will go for it. We're checking whether it qualified and we needed to be 100 square metres and we've almost got 200 square metres of mural.
How many pumpkins is there?
There's about 10,000. I haven't counted everyone, but that's what we've done, a few square metres and scaled it up, and about 10,000.
Despite not being the top option this year, the Pumpkin Pyramid, which took only 5 hours to complete, features Tim Burton's family favourite Halloween icon, Jack Skellington, the on-brand Pumpkin King from Disney's Nightmare Before Christmas.
We always ask people on social media what they would like to do. The top answer was actually the Lionesses this year, but we're struggling to make it work. So number 2 was Nightmare Before Christmas, and given it's the 30th anniversary of the Tim Burton film, we went for that.
Sunnyfield's pumpkin event keeps continuing to create new traditions for families and please its customers year in, year out.
Yeah, it's really good this year. We've been every year since my son, who's now 4.5, was little, obviously except COVID. So yeah, we come every year.
I think it's quite an imaginative idea actually to do the pumpkin theme with Night Before Christmas. Quite to see it's brought alive here at Sunnyfields.
Tom told me that they didn't only build the display for the accolades, but also for the massive recognition it gets from its thousands of families throughout the spooky season. Not only during the day, but also during the night.
Since Pumpkin Time started, Tom and the team at Sunnyfields have grown the event from just a field of pumpkins to the record-breaking displays that you can see today. But it looks like we'll just have to wait and see what the farm can carve out ready in time for next year. Owen Noon, Winchester News Online.
Hampshire Constabulary has released a poster this week for households who don't want to welcome trick-or-treaters tonight on Halloween. Older and vulnerable people are advised to stay in and not answer the door if they don't feel comfortable doing so. The posters are free to download from the Hampshire Police website. That's all we've got time for this week. Thank you for watching and have a very happy Halloween.